we're on it. It took us a couple tries, but you know what? Second, third time is always the charm. Now, I am so excited to be bringing to you guys this new show called Yelp Police. It's basically fashion police, but for Yelp reviews. And today's theme is going to be Baltimore. So that is why I have wrangled up the guests, some of the best people in Baltimore that I know. We got Brian Shea, Rob Phoenix, Jess Roby, and Jeff Taylor. So if you guys want to join, hello, and thank you so much for joining me and being the Baltimore experts for all these phenomenal Yelp reviews that we're going to take a look at.
Oh, can't wait.
Cool. So before we get started, I just want to ask you guys, like, what's your relationship or experiences with Yelp reviews? Do you like look at them a lot, or what's kind of the deal for you guys?
I used to, and I vaguely remember that the app was kind of shitty, and so I stopped. Probably like 5 years ago, that I just would always get frustrated by it, so I just was like, I don't have time.
Yeah, and it's like awful too, because if you're looking at it online on like Safari or whatever like phone you have, you need to go to the app to actually read the full review. So they really make you want to like download that app, and it's not a great app. So like, weird business model.
That's where my dealings with Yelp began and end, because if I go look something up and you're not saying that I have to download the app, but you want me to download the app, I'm just going to avoid you altogether. Like, you know what? We're just going to roll the dice, whatever I'm about to do or whatever I'm looking for, because I am not about you. I'm not about your app. I don't want it on my phone. Get out of my face.
Love it. I can respect that. Jeff?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have much. I don't use Yelp at all. I just wanted to do this show.
I love it.
But I do appreciate an unpopular opinion and a well-argued, ridiculous premise. So I'm hoping, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get plenty of that. So that's what I came for. That's my.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't really use Yelp to like read reviews, but I have gave 2 Yelp reviews twice in my life.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I want to search them up later.
One was good, one was not good, equilibrium.
Oh yeah, I love that. So you're not just a positive Yelp reviewer, because I think some people are, because they try and get like, I don't know, like gifts or something like that from people, points or whatever. Yeah, Yelp cred, as I think they should call it. All right. Well, like I said, these are all Baltimore-based, some places that you guys may have been to or not. So this one really stuck out to me. Like, a burger place I feel like is quintessential to any city. And so I clicked on Clark Burger. And here we have Mark Allen J. from Los Angeles. And I just love the energy in this Yelp review, so I'm just going to read it and we'll go from there. Holy smackaroni are the very words that filled my post-pubescent brain as I sank my teeth into a full Monty burger. I cannot sing well, but I will sing praises of the burger my mouth just witnessed. This stuff should honestly be illegal, given the massive flavor bomb that went off in my mouth. That beef patty was extraordinarily fresh. The essence of moo was definitely emanating throughout my physical being. The beef juices were retained, elevating the flavors of poutine fries crammed into the nth degree. I truly think my buds were violated given the sheer savoriness of this burger. The buns cradled these fillings as if it were a mother cradling its firstborn. Its integrity remained resolute throughout a 15 drive and its flavor profile unbroken. This bread definitely passed the vibe check. In addition to its stellar function, its aesthetic pulled through. Its glistening in the light made it all the better to consume, but even sadder to finish. Though I do not want to detract from the beauty of the full Monty burger, the poutine fries deserve some love. They're exactly what you'd expect and more. Slopped on with a generous amount of cheese, these fries hit the metaphorical gastronomical spot Now, add on the provided gravy, and you now have a fiesta mi amigo. Great as a standalone meal in its own regard, its starchy goodness speaks for itself. Bring me back, please. So, thoughts, reactions?
Someone who worked there wrote this.
This is how I know Los Angeles, California must have bad food. Because I've been to this place before. It was all right, but it wasn't 4 paragraphs of whatever this is that you just like. Just write a novel if you have this much free time. Just we're in the pandemic. Oh, this is the 826. Oh, he had time. Oh, he had so much. Okay. Tell me you're unemployed without telling me you're unemployed.
And as I put in the chat, Fells Point is a fairly trendy-ish area. I'm like, oh, this actually reads more Fed Hill, this guy, than Fells. Very much like he's just, he just loves his fucking adjectives because it makes him think.
Also, like, you should know as soon as you start reading the first line, holy smackaroni, that you about to be in for a whirlwind. Because if someone starts off that, like, honestly, if I was to read this, I would be like turned off to go there. Like, I have also been there, and their burgers are dry. So,
wow, you didn't get that beefy.
Yeah, I didn't feel the essence of moo emanating in my physical
your gastronomical spot.
Yeah.
Articles.
Yeah,
this is full of lies.
Yeah, I that improv game where you're like, so you're currently a clown, but you used to be a cop or something, or and you just map over. I think this Mark Allen J, which I guess is his first, middle, and last initial, or it's Allen Mark, and they forgot the comma. I don't know, but like wrote like those paperback like smut novels as his old job, and then those are kind of out of business now because there's real porn, and he can't help but write like this, whether it's a Yelp review, it's best man speech, no matter what it is, it's always going to be
he's stuck.
Yeah, there's like fan fiction vibes all over.
Burger fan fiction.
Yeah.
Honestly, reading the first part, it did. Like, I agree with Jeff. It was very sexual. Like, I was like, where is this about to go? Because he was like giving the massive flavor bomb that went off in my mouth. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah,
someone was feeling it.
I wouldn't have got past the first 2 words. Honestly, I'd be like, okay, see, I'm just gonna close the app. Like,
that's why I knew we had to look at this one. Holy smackaroni! I was already screenshotting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's so much stuff in here. Like, my buds were violated given the sheer savoriness of this burger. The gastronomical spot, which is a G spot, I guess.
Yep.
There's so and then drippings, like there's all these like borderline sexual innuendo food references.
And he says post-pubescent brain. He doesn't look that young.
No. That was the one. Like, there's a lot of craziness in here, but that really threw me for a loop when I actually did read it for the first time. I was like, it almost made me uncomfy, where I was like, maybe we shouldn't have
this. That's why I think he used to write porn, because he has to establish that he's an adult.
The first paragraph alone is way too much.
Yeah.
And he keeps going.
This guy also, the moo was definitely emanating throughout my physical being. Like, do you suck souls, sir? Like, I don't. This is what I feel like what a serial killer would write. That is way too much. That's way too much.
I also imagine him just like sweating bullets of meat sweats, writing this in the bathroom before he leaves the place. Like, that's what I'm picturing in my head. Just like, I have to get this out right now.
And I wonder how he created this post. Like, did he go home and type it out, or was this all a thumb post? Is this just I'm
pretty sure he was only using
a lot.
I'm pretty sure he was just using one thumb. He gets into this.
Found a use for the burger grease for the other.
The generous amounts of cheese. You know.
God. Mark Allen J. I'm gonna dive into more of his Yelp reviews because I'm pretty sure you can like see all of them, but this one was wild, and I'm glad we started with this one. Okay, this one, the name of the tavern.
Butts and Betty's is a
Yeah, I used to go there all the time.
Okay, awesome. I Google searched best dive bars, and this came up. Okay. This is from Diane S. from Philadelphia, and I love the mysteriousness of no picture and everything like that. So we found this place on Yelp in our search for dive bars. We made our way over there on Saturday night. When we first got there, we were extremely disappointed that there were only 2 other people in there. However, we were lucky to get to meet the daughter of the owners, a sweetheart named Cindy. Cindy was awesome. She told us all of her favorite places nearby with lots of recommendations of things to see while walking around. She even tossed me a shirt to remember them. We felt bad leaving her alone to venture out, but she encouraged us to get out and see the area. We planned on heading back there on Sunday, but the timing didn't work out. We will definitely make our way back to see this place in action. I just love that this was a Yelp review for Cindy. It really wasn't about Betty's. It was just Cindy.
It's like, oh, people were nice. Okay.
5 stars.
Right.
To be fair, the first time I went to Butts and Betty's, I literally went because of the name. Like my friend and I were driving and I was like, yo, we got to stop in there. Its name is Butts and Betty's. And they gave me free Jello shots like throughout the night. So I was like, maybe it was Cindy. I don't even know who the woman was. It could have been Cindy for all I know.
It looked like a fun place. And a lot of people did talk about all the generous bartenders, all other reviews, but I like this one because it was just about Cindy.
I used to go to Butts and Betty's like often, like 1 to 2 times a week.
He's about to say a day. Go ahead, be honest, Jeff.
Sundays. Anyways, my girlfriend lived on the same street, so you could walk there, and so and they don't charge a lot for their drinks, and they don't charge for every drink. That's like free Jello shots is pretty standard. I remember going in there on a Sunday to watch football. So I watched like 8 hours of football and got a $13 tab before. They're very generous. I mean, that was in 1999. So, but still, that's.
I also want to know, how was the t-shirt tossed? You know what I mean? Like, was it just like as you walk out the door? Like, I'm imagining it was something very theatrical for them to write it in there, though. Also,
it's very misleading. It's like, oh, we're looking for a dive bar, but then disappointed there are only 2 people in there. Like, I feel like if you go to a dive bar,
that's what you expect.
It's kind of what you want to be packed and jumping. Like, you go to a dive bar because you kind of want to be left alone.
And you want to go in to a dive bar when you don't live there. You want to walk in and only be 2 or 3 people, and you want them to stop everything they're doing and look at you. Right. And you want something weird to be on the TV. Because there's a dive bar near me that closed during the pandemic, and every time I go in, I usually just got carry out from them. They would have like Magnum PI on, or some it was just like old 70s TV or movies, and it was my favorite thing ever because it was just like, why don't you just stay home and watch this?
One thing I wish they would have mentioned. Oh, sorry.
No, good. Why watch it at home when you can watch it at a bar?
Yeah.
Exactly. One thing I wish they would have mentioned about Butts and Betty's is it has a pool table that is like rare. Like, I've been in there a few times and it's like rarely used. And I feel like that's like an anomaly in a dive bar, because usually like there's people who are like, I come here for this pool table, I'm gonna be on it all night. And like to be like, oh, it's not used. Like, that should have been in there. Diane messed up on that one part.
Yeah. I think Diane was just so infatuated with Cindy. I think her and whoever she was with, they were like, they got that like real like local moment with Cindy. Like, they wanted to come back for Cindy. Like, they almost changed their plans for later that night to come back.
I think Diane really likes Cindy, and her husband figured it out, and he was not into a threesome. So he was like, "Nah, we're not going back there."
Oh my God. I just wish they took a picture, because some Yelp reviewers will post a picture of like if they meet someone or like whatever. Yeah. I wish that there was a group photo with Cindy.
Maybe Cindy is like Diane. She didn't want her like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
her picture.
Women
and I wouldn't necessarily trust any pictures, because just looking at this, like I said, I've been to this bar many times and I've never seen a piece of glassware in that bar. It's usually small plastic cups or tall plastic cups. You know?
Oh, you're saying they're lying. What bar is this really?
Because it looks like it look how nice that one picture. All the other two are like blurry and dark. That's what's amazing. I know.
These are stock photos from somewhere.
The picture Jeff, the picture you just pointed out looks a little like Club Chuck if Club Chuck had lights. You know, that back,
if it
that
didn't
back
have
glass.
spaceships.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love it. Okay. I think we have like time for one more, and I had a couple, so I'm going to go to this one because I just love that a grave had a Yelp review. This is Edgar Allan Poe's grave. So apparently, like a lot of people go to, I think there's one of his homes in Baltimore, and then his grave. So Michael F. from Arizona wrote, "It's a grave. That's it. Took a picture next to it. LOL." No, seriously. Edgar Allan Poe grave is one of those things that you might as well do if you're in Baltimore because it's free. I'm not a fan of macabre. I don't even know if I'm saying that right, in detective fiction genre, but I appreciate historic sites such as this one. He died without a cent to his name. The city of Baltimore paid for his grave, having every school child in Baltimore donate a penny. To this day, it's customary to leave a penny behind on the marker when visiting his grave, or a red rose if you're not cheap. And I love the pictures. Here's Jennifer just chilling on the grave and then imitating the raven. LOL. So, you know.
First of all, 81 reviews for a grave is, you know, a lot of people have opinions.
It's like, still dead.
And also like I didn't like the red rose if you're not cheap dig, because I mean a penny is actual currency and a rose is going to die in like a day, and so
also if you talk to someone on the like, there's people that sell roses sometimes on the road, like you could talk down the price, like you know,
you can haggle.
Haggle price for a rose.
Don't assume my negotiation skills.
Yeah. Don't assume that I'm gonna get the most expensive bouquet for this dead man.
This reminds me, I always find it creepy that people take pictures next to headstones, but I feel like it's an extension, or we've as a society morphed into people taking pictures next to dead relatives at funerals, which I saw somebody do that at my great grandmother's funeral. It creeped me out. Like this dude like took his phone, took his cell. I'm sure he's related to me, some like fourth cousin. So he's like, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like doing it for the socials? Like, why?
God.
Why?
I missed the beginning of this, but I know the grave. So my daughter and I, one time, I think she had an teen improv class. I forget why we were down in Baltimore. And then I had to go to a conference to do one thing. My work had a booth, and I just had to go take care of one thing down there. But I was meeting someone to talk to interview them for a work thing. And we had like a block of time, and that was where she wanted to go. So we hung out at the grave and we walked around, and because she's like, I've read about it, but also, I worked at the University of Maryland, which actually owns it now, and my nephew's wedding reception was in the hall attached to the graveyard, and is super fun place for a reception.
Can we also just talk about the part that it says, because I ain't noticed, that the city of Baltimore paid for his grave by having every school child donate a penny? Like, what if you was that one child that came to school without your penny? Like, were you getting dogged for like not paying for Edgar Allan Poe's grave? Like,
You got
Brian
haunted
never
by
penny.
Edgar Allan Poe's ghost.
like
And I think that the school systems should have done a little more research into Edgar Allan Poe. Like, he married his 13-year-old cousin, like
Yeah.
Jerry Lee
Oh.
Lewis style.
yeah.
Like, he was a heroin addict and an alcoholic. Like, I mean, give your pennies to someone else, I guess.
To someone else's grave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, does anybody else in the city have more landmarks like this? I know people that have gone to
Right.
the horse you've come in on just to go because that's where he died, like outside that bar.
Yep.
And then I didn't know there was an Edgar Allan Poe 7-Eleven.
Oh.
It's the 7-Eleven that is on Charles Street, I guess, right before the Washington Monument.
Okay.
Like that is there's like a plaque like commemorated, making it like the Edgar Allan Poe 7-Eleven.
And then there's the Poe House, which is not
Right.
near the grave.
I don't think Babe Ruth has this many like
Yeah.
statues or
It's
things.
because they built a baseball stadium on top of his museum.
Well, that is true.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Also, this might be like our Eiffel Tower to me, not Eiffel Tower, our like Statue of Liberty. Because I've walked past this grave. I've actually never been to it. I used to work at the
Same.
University of Maryland. I've walked past this many times and have had no urge to go anywhere close to the grave.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I literally only went to it one time because I was like waiting for a bus. And I was like, oh, it's going to be a while. What can I do besides walk around? I was like, I guess I can go see this. And I felt the same way. I was like, it's a grave. That's it. Like, what's the big.
Yeah, I worked there for 2 years, and I never went there. I'd been to a couple events at Westminster Hall right next to it. Like they'd have like big like HR type things there, and I never went in there. That was the graveyard until my daughter said it, and yeah.
Is there any celebrity or like important person in history whose grave you would want to go to? Because I'm like trying to think, and like going to a grave to like just see the grave, I don't know if there's anyone for me, except for like, it's like very dire. Like people that are alive now, I feel like I'd be like, oh, like I'd probably visit theirs. But that is a very dark thought. So
I don't have anyone, but I have a short story. So the town I live in, Hanover, Pennsylvania, it's about an hour north of Baltimore. There's a guy named John Luther Long who wrote I don't know if it's a book or the short story that was the inspiration for the opera Madame Butterfly.
Ooh.
And when I was a reporter at the paper here, one day there was a Japanese documentary crew. We got this phone call from someone who worked at the cemetery, like, you guys might want to, back when local newspapers actually did stuff like this, like someone called us and said, hey, there's this film crew out here. You might want to come do a story on them. And I got sent out there and they basically didn't want to talk to me at all. And I just kind of loitered around and we took some pictures from a distance, like ran
Let's celebrate John Luther Long in our own way, Brian Shea.
And yeah, it was weird. So yeah, the whole visiting graves thing,
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I also feel like, and this is probably, I don't know, some tourists might be upset. I feel like if you're gonna visit any grave here, like go visit the guy who made the Ouija board, because I think his is kind of cool because like it looks like a Ouija board.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that one's more, not that, I mean, it's also in Greenmount Cemetery, which is like huge. So like if you get the urge to see other graves, you have options besides just seeing one.
Mm.
yeah, true.
Baltimore has got a plethora of graves to visit.
Large cemeteries full of death.
Oh God. And full of life.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh.
Well, Baltimore seems like a lovely place to visit. There were a couple more, but I think we're probably running tight on time. So I just want to thank you guys for joining. And if you could give this Yelp review rating, what would your one sentence be for each person? And make it like Mark's or whatever his name was.
Oh yeah.
Who would like to start?
Oh, gee.
I will. Oh boy. Death, friends, and juiciness. Come visit Baltimore.
Love it.
Baltimore, Maryland, where the guy sitting like this in a cemetery is not the creepiest person on Yelp.
Came to Baltimore for an O's game, ended up seeing 8 Edgar Allan Poe sites. Didn't know they loved this dude this much. I don't know. The Raven was cool, I guess. Sam. Like,
you know, I feel like if you combine the two, it's kind of just like the Raven brought the post-pubescent nature out of me, and the pennies trickled down like tea sauce. Baltimore.
I love it. Here's mine. It's came for Edgar Allan Poe, stayed for Cindy. Visit Baltimore.
Nice.
mm-hmm.
Thank you guys so much. The best of Baltimore has been here. We've been
Best of
Thank
Baltimore
you,
to the
Caroline, for
Thank you.
the debut of Yelp Police. We did this on a bit show, and now it's a real show. So excited. Have you, and you'll be here two Tuesdays a month.
Yep.
Yep. So we are very excited to see other knuckleheads comment on Yelp posts.
Hell yeah.
All right. Thank you all. Thank you all. We are going